Okay, so let's continue adding controls to our asset. In this video, I want to get the controls for our shoulders created. That's going to be the attach control, the detach control, and also our fine position control. So I'm going to right click and allow editing of contents on our asset. Right click and bring up the type properties for our asset. Inside our torso folder, I'm going to create a new folder for our shoulders. And I'm going to put all of the parameters for our shoulders inside this folder. Starting off, since it's kind of the overall control for our shoulders, I want to promote up the attach to detach blend from our shoulder dynamic control parenting node. So I'm going to jump into our asset and find that shoulder dynamic control parenting node. So there it is, and from inside there, inside the dynamic control parenting folder, I want the attach to detach blend. Now I do want to make sure that prefix, link, name and label is turned off, and then I'm going to promote that up into our shoulders folder, renaming this to shoulder blend. Now to keep things nice and organized, I'm going to create a separator, and then I'm going to create a label, and with the label, let's give this the name of attached control label. And the label, and in this case, we're going to set the main label, but we're not going to use it. But this is going to allow us to see the main label inside our parameters so that we can see when looking through our parameters what this label is referring to. So I'm going to set that to the same as our name. Then turn off main label, and I'm actually going to use the column labels. I'm going to set the column labels to 3 so that if I was to specify a label in that second label, it's going to centralize that label inside of our parameter window. If we only use the main label, that would be left adjusted. By using 3 column labels and entering text into the second label, that puts that text in the center. So this is going to be our attached control. So now we can promote up parameters for our attached control. So that's going to be the shoulder control underscore hip control parent. From inside there, I want the twist offset, control click our rotate X offset, control click translate, control click rotate, promote those up. Let's put twist offset and rotate X offset below our translates and rotates. So I'm going to drag that up to our folder that will put them below. And I'm going to rename our translate. Let's rename that to at shoulder T for attached shoulder translate, R for rotate, attached shoulder twist offset, and attached shoulder RX offset. We can now go ahead and promote up the button from our shoulder dynamic control parenting. So let me shrink down the hip control parent. I want to promote up our match attach to detach button. Since that deals with these parameters and only modifies these parameters, it makes sense to have that button in this group. So I'm going to promote that button up and rename it to shoulder match attach to detach for our button. I'm then going to grab the separator and grab our label, right click and copy, right click on our button and paste. That's going to create a new separator, a new label. This time I'm going to rename this to detached control label with the main label of detached control label, so that appears inside of our parameter editor. I'm going to use 3 columns on our label, and this is going to be our detached control. We can now promote up, whilst we're here, the match detach to attach button, renaming to shoulder match detach to attach. Shrink down our shoulder dynamic control parenting. Hunt down our shoulder control master control parent. And inside here again, twist offset, rotate X offset, translate and rotate, promote those up. Let's move those above the button and then the offsets below the translates and rotates. Let's now start working with renaming these. So I'm going to name this DT for detached, shoulder T for shoulder translates, copy, paste shoulder rotates, paste twist offset, and paste rotate X offset. So that's our attached and detached controls. I also want to create some parameters for our fine position control. So I'm going to copy our separator and label, paste those underneath our button, and let's rename this to our fine position control label and give that a main label of fine position control label. Now whilst we're making labels, we're actually going to have attached and detached labels for other parts of the rig. So I'm actually going to put shoulder in front of that name just to keep everything as organized as possible. Then we can jump back down to our fine position control label, and we're going to have fine position, and since we actually have two controls here, find position control, and that should have been an S, not a 2. There we go, find position controls. So let's hunt down those find position controls. We have the L underscore and R underscore shoulder position control. So there's L underscore shoulder position control, promote up its translates, and give that the name of left shoulder position, or even just left shoulder T would work fantastically. And I'm going to rename that to left translate. Then let's do the same for our right shoulder position control. So R underscore shoulder position control inside the transform folder, promote up translate. This is going to be our right translate, and that's going to be our right shoulder T. So with that, if we accept this, OK through the error that comes up, because that is just a warning really about our fetch, we can see inside the shoulders now we have our attach to detach blend, we have the attached control, we have the detached control, and we also have our find position controls all available to us there. So I'm going to right click and I'm going to save our operator type. I'm going to right click and I'm going to match our current definition so that operator is locked. And this is so that I can now test out our match attach to detach and match detach to attach to make sure indeed these do work inside our locked asset. So I'm going to go ahead and maximize our parameters so we can see all of our controls for our shoulders at once. Let's grab our shoulders. We're currently set to the attach control. We can move that and see that, yeah, we are working with our attach control. We can blend over to the detach control. Let's grab our detach control and move him, and we can see attach control, detach control. If we start rotating, we can see the parameters there changing. Let's say now to match our attach to detach and make sure that this works without throwing any errors. And there we go. You can see it set parameters and they have been matched perfectly. Fantastic. Let's go ahead now, blend over to our attach control, grab our attach control. Let's offset that back and over. Just set this with some crazy orientation of some kind. Give that a crazy rotation. There we go. And then say match detach to attach. That worked as well. And when we blend over, you can see there is no movement occurring there. So that is working fantastically. Let's zero all of these back out. So we can zero all of these out. Let's also make sure that our shoulder position controls are indeed functioning. So we can grab the shoulder position controls and yep, they're working. And so is the one on the left hand side as well. So with that, let's just go ahead and bring back up our network as well as the parameters. That is going to conclude adding our shoulder controls to our asset. Thanks a lot, everyone.